me, Mr. Grant, what do you know about the unknown? The place where nightmares become reality and reason falls apart. The place where unspeakable horrors cause one to question their own sanity. Are you prepared to know more?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another stream with Swaggle. A very special stream today, a midday stream where the lighting actually looks pretty good. You know, usually when I do these streams, it's at nighttime and I can't take advantage of the window that is behind my computer that you guys never see. I have to light it off screen right here. But today we get to have kind of a regular, morning, midday video that I might have on the channel. And this is a very, very special stream. I mean, the reason I decided to fire up the stream and have it today is because it's a special day. I wrote a comic book. My Kickstarter for my Lovecraftian comic book called Sanity is live today. And, this is a special occasion. I got to do the thing where I am a dirty influencer and I got to influence my own book. Okay, this is what I got to do. I got to shill my own comic book that I wrote. But luckily, as much as I'm going to pump this thing, I actually like it. I'm actually very, very proud of it. And I'm very, very excited. I hope you guys like it as well. So, we're going to talk about the comic book. I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm going to take you through the Kickstarter. We're going to talk about some of that stuff, just get some information out there, although the information is already in there. But later on in the stream, we don't have to make it all about me. It's not all about me. We got some market stuff that I feel like is important to talk about. We got some John Bernthal Punisher news I kind of want to get into and take a look at some of the books that are out there. We got some Ultron rumors and things like that. We can just hang out, do some lunchtime, Q&A, hang out, drink some coffee, do the whole thing. But before I do that, let's check in here with the chat. We got Zach Duncan in the house. Which comic do y'all think he wrote? Batman 423? It is not Batman 423. I cannot take credit for that, but I will show you in a few. Carnival Hands here. What's going on, man? Hurry up. I'm on my lunch break. All right. I'm going to try to cram. This is what I'll do. I'll try to cram a 2-hour stream in a 10-minute window. That's what I'll do. So we'll see if we can wrap this all up. Comic Journey. What's going on, Comic Journey? Did someone say influence? I certainly hope so. I'm trying to influence my own book. If you guys don't know, Comic Journey's got his YouTube channel going, and he actually had me on a live stream. I guess it would have been a couple weeks back already. So go over to his channel, check it out. He's always got good live streams, interviewing people in the community. And I had the honor to be on there. So if you guys want to watch that replay, I think his VOD is on the channel. Speaking of other YouTubers here, we got Actual Dracula in the house. Blah, blah, blah. What's going on, Actual Dracula? Good to see you, man. Of course, if you guys don't know, Actual Dracula has a YouTube channel as well. And he actually recently put out a trailer. I think, he's coming back, maybe took a little bit of a break, but coming into 2023 hot. Bandits here. What's going on, man? Lunchtime viewing. Yes. Lunchtime viewing. We got it. We got to do it. Let's see here. YOLO bro. Did you get Bry's voiceover person to do this intro? Lol. Oh, no, we did not use the same person. Although, it is funny that you mentioned that. It is a little bit like Bry's Comics. Was that a good impression? Bry's Comics. I don't know. Bry actually came over to the house not too long ago. We did the Ant-Man and the Wasp screening, and he came over. So I got to finally meet him in person, which was awesome. Como Comics in the house. Pump. All right. With Drew's permission, I will happily pump my book as hard as I can. Of course, you guys know Drew by now. He's already, he's been on the channel many times before. He's at that point where it's like 4th, 5th, 6th appearance. Like his appearances on the channel don't actually matter anymore. Let's see here. We got Matt Kellard in the house. What's going on, Matt? Matt was also at the Ant-Man and the Wasp screening. A very exciting day. Congrats, making comic books. This is 40. Yes, indeed, sir. This is 40. Took me 40 years to be able to write a comic book. But it was a slow path to get here, but it's okay. I've done some other cool things in my life. I've done a lot of writing in my life. But comic book is definitely a first, and it's really, really cool to kind of say or check it off the bucket list here. Can I get a copy in the UK? Second best Bob. Yes, you can get a copy in the UK. There is the Kickstarter. I'll go through it. I'm happy to ship anywhere in the world. Although like obviously shipping internationally comes with sometimes hefty fees. So it might be, I'm trying to keep the shipping as minimal as possible, but it is still a cost currently going on. Doug Bratton in the house. Congrats, Mickey. Oh, thanks, Doug. Really, really appreciate it. You guys know Doug Bratton, of course, a good guy. He's got his comic book Isolation, which, when they originally launched with Reggie Collects, I talked about it. I was lucky enough to get an issue actually back at last year's San Diego Comic-Con, and they're actually on issue number 3. So definitely, go check out his books on Reggie Collects. Definitely check them out. I mean, I'm not just saying this now because now I'm somebody who wrote a comic book, but at the same time, it's like, it's cool to see, people within our collecting community, doing their own projects. And I think anytime someone kind of goes into like a creative venture, I mean, it's the best thing you could do is actually support them in that, if you're someone who's enjoyed watching Reggie, and Doug's always on Reggie's lives and things like that. So it's good to support them. Mill Skills, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see, just checking in with the chat here. Promoting your own work is never dirty, bro. Yes. Well, I appreciate that. It's definitely hard to sell your own work. I come in like most things that I do with a subtle confidence. I'm proud of it. I like it. I hope other people will like it too. So, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm going to sell it as best as I can, but I can't get to the car salesman level. I've just never been that person. Bandits here. How difficult has this process been so far, from idea to production, knowing you are still in the process? Just an overview. Yeah, Bandits. It's a good question. I mean, it's definitely been a very difficult, I'd say if anything, it's been a very lengthy process, because I actually wrote this comic. I mean, it probably would have finished issue number 1, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I probably actually finished writing it. And it was kind of in a place where I was like at that time with my YouTube channel, I was like, yeah, maybe I can put it out, but I don't think that there's like going to be anyone that is interested in this sort of thing. So I kind of sat on it for a while. But I would say over the course of it's probably been like the last 8 months or so that I've like actually picked up steam, where I found artists, I got them drawing it, got them working on it. And the difficulty is like, it's all self-funded, I'm coming out of pocket for it. So, while I'm definitely paying everyone who's working on it, it's like, it's an independent creator price. So those people, artists, letterers, colors and stuff, they have obviously, their main work priorities that they have to focus in on. So it's definitely like a slow process in that regard. It's not like a coming in with funding, full-time attention, full-time effort from all the team putting it together. So that's been really difficult, just kind of waiting for a lot of pages to come in and things like of that nature. And then also like all the marketing stuff, like, I made the trailer myself. I did all this stuff. So it's like, it's just, you don't really have the team, the support to do it. Let's see here. Vinny here in the chat. What's going on, Vinny? Good to see you. Good to see you. Kamikaze, woo woo. Congrats, Swag. You're almost halfway there to your goal. Yes, this is very, very exciting. I suppose I can pull it up right now, but I am pleasantly surprised to see that we're $5,066 range. $5,066, which, if you guys can see, my pledge was $10,000. So we were already halfway there. The project has been live for 3 hours. I'm going to just do a quick refresh, make sure that's right. Yeah. Been live for 3 hours and we're halfway to our goal. That is super exciting. I'm definitely blown away and actually really relieved, because I was excited about this, but at the same time, like I had no idea, if anyone was going to be interested in this project. So definitely going to bed last night it was tough. A lot of nerves going to sleep last night, just hoping, someone, not my mom, was going to be willing to back the project. But, it's really cool to see that we've been able to hit this number, 44 people already backing it. Luckily, there's some tiers that people have been able to donate to that I'll go over later, that, having people pick up those tiers has been super, super beneficial to like reach the goal. I mean, you have to have people who effectively at that point, it's almost like a donation, because they're investing so much into the project that goes a long way into having the pledge goal be met. But generally speaking, it's anyone who's willing to donate anything and support in any kind of way is much appreciated. So I'm really, really lucky. Green jacket is the mail. Yeah. Green jacket's in the mail. It's in the mail. It's coming your way. All right. Well, let me, I don't know if this is boring. I mean, maybe you guys have already sort of seen it, but I figure I could just kind of go through the comic page a little bit. Maybe it's helpful if someone has never done Kickstarter before, and I can kind of talk about it. And then, later on, we'll get into some fun stuff, talk about market stuff, talk about, things that are going on. And that's one of the things too. I apologize in advance, guys. I mean, I know you guys are giving me permission to promote my book, but I'm going to talk about this book quite a lot for, the next 29 to 30 days here as we try to get this funded. But of course, we'll have comic book collecting content on the channel. Of course, it's not going to be all about my comic books. It's not about me. It's about the comic collecting. But here's the Kickstarter page. Of course, the trailer is right here. You guys can see my pledge goal is 10,000. You got the backers. This is how long it's going to go for, 29 days. So there's a link in the description if you guys want to check it out yourself. But I'll kind of just go down and follow along here. Here's the little bit just of a kind of a press image, talks a little bit about the story, what it is. It's a 6-issue miniseries set in the Lovecraftian universe. It's like kind of a pulp detective adventure. If you're familiar with like the Agatha Christie novels or like, those golden age style of storytellings, things of that nature, and the Lovecraft universe, it's kind of in that vibe, in that setting. So pretty fun, like super, it's a really fun world to be in. And so this is, for this campaign is to create issue number 1. Art was done by Santiago Espina. This is cover A for the book. So anyone who backs any tier will get a cover A. It doesn't have the trade dress on it at the moment. This is the virgin cover, I guess you would, but I'm not going to sell the virgin copy. I mean, let me know what you guys think about that. Like, I'm not a fan of like having too many like derivative types things where it's like, oh, you got like the cover A, and then you got virgin cover A, and then you got virgin cover A metal edition, and then you got virgin cover A black and white. Like, to me, I wanted to keep, if I did do a variant, it was like, here's one variant and it's just a different style. And if you like it, you just like it because the aesthetic is different. So that was kind of like my thought behind it. And one thing that is kind of important to mention too is, I'm going to be creating this project and then printing these books. And I'm sure I'm going to have some extra inventory later on to sell if I ever get to do comic book shows and things of that nature. But I do say kind of here in the fine print that the people who back the Kickstarter and get cover A, I'm gonna put some kind of like watermark or some kind of Easter egg or something on this cover so that, as we know, comic book collectors, they're all going to be first prints, but you got to know that like this one is slightly more rare, slightly more special because it came from the original Kickstarter backing. Because otherwise, it wouldn't be as special that way. So I want to give something back to the people that actually do support the project. Here's just a couple of pages, film noir, detective, Lovecraft vibes, moody, but still a little bit of pop of color. I like this panel here. This one always reminds me of like a clue board, which is something that we kind of talked about doing here, just going from one room to the next. I thought that was kind of a cool creative choice by Santiago. Colors by Maxim Strelkov. All these guys are linked in here. You guys can check them out if you want to. And the lettering is done by Davison Maine. So here's just another one. This is a kind of a Lovecraft monster. Just some example pages of the book itself. Of course, these ones aren't lettered. So there is some dialogue and things of that nature. Vibes I kind of already talked about. Here's like an example scene, just something earlier in the book. If you guys want to read it, I'm not going to read it. A little bit about me, what I plan on doing with the money, some of the breakdown of like the print counts and things like that. I'm going to keep it less than 5,000. There's 250 for each of the B and C cover. There's 100 for the other cover. And then there's 50 for this other cover. So this one right here is the first, I guess you would call it a 1 in 25. It's a variant. This one's done by Sean Chen. If you guys know Sean Chen, he's a super amazing artist. He's done so much work for like Wolverine, Batman. He worked on the Iron Man series when they created the Winter Guard. If you remember that, I think it was Kurt Busiek was writing that one. So he created that. He's also got this project right here called Genesis. It's his own title. So, if you're into this sort of stuff and you want to support the other creators, definitely go check out his Instagram and stuff. It's linked. It's linked here on the page, but he was able to do this cover for me, which I thought was super cool. Just, he's really, really great at doing like these very, very like heroic kind of action poses, which I felt like was a need for a cover. This one right here is Pascal Campion. He has a very, very specific style of art that, he has a big following for, kind of like a very nostalgic, almost somber Pixar style. He does a lot of work for Pixar and things of that nature. So just to do something kind of different, I thought it'd be cool to have him do a cover, which he did this one right here, which I thought was a very cool, like, interpretation for his style of art. I have this one right here. This is done by Lucas Kettner. This is the limited to 100. Of course, you got to do the EC homage right here. This is, of course, the main character and what is called a deep one on the cover. And Lucas Kettner, if you guys don't know, he's currently working on this series, Count Crowley. Let me see if he has something on his Instagram that you guys might recognize. It's Count Crowley. It's actually in stores now. I think it's a Image title or it's a Boom Studios title. And it's written by David, I'm going to mispronounce his name. This actor, you guys know him. He was in the Ant-Man movies and he was, he's a part of their team. So he's got this really cool book, this cool series. And that's kind of how I discovered him from the book. I thought his style was amazing. And I thought he would be perfect to kind of pull off, the EC aesthetics, which is, super, super cool. So we have this one right here. And then, this other one right here, which is what we call the Kickstarter exclusive. So this one is limited to 50 right here. So those are kind of like the different cover breakdowns. I have a video in here, which is basically me talking, which let's see. Yeah, it's me talking and explaining the whole thing. So you guys can watch this at some other later time. I think I got to move this up because I've been looking at the stats and it's definitely, I don't think people are watching this video. I think they watch the trailer. I think they scrub through the pages and then they've already like made up their mind if they want to donate and stuff. But then down here at the reward tiers, in case it's confusing, when you donate, you can see here are the slides of like what you see is what you get in these bundles. So kind of goes all the way down here. There's a shout out one with, you can get your credits in here. There's a original art tier. So a couple people already got the original art tier and they got the swag bundle right here, which will be me making a video on whatever you want. If it's 10 minutes long of me just saying you're the best comic book collector in the world, I will do it. I will sell my dignity and post it on this YouTube channel to realize my comic book dreams. So those are the different tiers and hopefully they make sense. And yeah, over here on the side, you can see you pledge here, you pick up whichever tier you want with whatever covers you want. And then on the back end, there's some options too, where it's like, I think I have it where you can add another copy and things of that nature. And there's shipping costs as well. So in case you guys are unaware of that, there's definitely shipping costs. All right, let me just check back in here with the chat right here. Comics and Chaos, what's going on? What's going on, Comics and Chaos? If you guys don't know, Comics and Chaos, another great YouTube channel. I was on their show a little while ago. So definitely go check out their YouTube. Will you shave the goatee if you sell out your Kickstarter? I don't think I can shave the goatee anymore. I think it's now a part of me. It's part of my persona now. Like it's going to be hard for me to let go. I'll tell you this: maybe I add a tier. It'll be like a $5,000 tier, shave a goatee tier, because yeah, like I said, I will sell my dignity to realize these dreams. Coach Dale, yeah, big congrats on the book swag, man. That's so awesome. Happy for you. Thanks. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Mickey, will this Sunday be a Nearman Sunday for you? Oh, sadly, it will not be a Nearman Sunday. I was hoping I was going to be able to go, but I actually have a work thing outside of Swagglehouse YouTube. So unfortunately, I won't be able to make that show. But if you guys don't know, if you're in the Southern California area, Nearman Sundays, definitely always a good show to go to. So go check out their Instagram. I think it's just Nearman Sundays on Instagram. But they do a local show in the Southern California area, and it's definitely worth going to because it's a lot of like, mom and pop type of vendors. So mom and pop vendors, and you can get really good deals on books if you're in that area. Congrats, Swag. Shout out from Gallup, New Mexico. I got a little time for my lunch to log on and to see your post. Kick ass. Thanks, Wade. Appreciate you stopping by, and definitely, yeah, I appreciate that. Mickey writes his first comic and he's already complaining about artists. He's natural. You know what? It's always the artist's fault. That's what we say. Like fulfillment guys, even though the comic book is already done, if fulfillment is slow for the Kickstarter, let's blame Santiago. We'll blame him. Oh, we got some super chats here. Appreciate this. Comic Journey. Good luck. Hoping much success for this and future projects. Comic Journey, I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you again so much for the $10. And yeah, hopefully if this is successful, there will be future projects because I would love to continue going on and not just stop here. I got another one here. Free Bird the Nerd. Glad I was able to join live. Happy Wednesday. Ferd Bird the Nerd. Thank you, Ferd Bird. Really appreciate that. $2. Yeah, happy you can hop on the stream. Let's see here. Checking in with the chat. Nude, fully nude, excited. I don't know if Como, you're talking to some other stuff in the stream right now, but I got to say that I'm glad that people enjoyed the discussion in the video I did yesterday about the simp covers, because it's funny, man. It's funny how much like that stuff. I mean, it's always been a thing, right? Like we all know this. It's always been in comic books. It's always been in the industry. But it really is interesting to see that like now in this market where, it's a little more of a down market, a little more of a bear market, you really got to do anything you can to get those sales, get those attentions. You got to stand out amongst the crowd, cut through the noise. And, a hot lady on a cover is never a bad way to do it. I'm not hating. I think it's actually pretty smart. I actually wish that I did a cover like that for my comic book, maybe in the next one. Yeah, we'd rather have a completely different variant than a virgin cover in most cases. Yeah. I see. I was talking about virgin cover. I get it. Yeah. I mean, that's me personally. I know people like the virgin covers for sure. But yeah, I'm with you, Dracula. Like just my personal tastes. Like I like variants, but to me, a variant would want to be either like a whole different thing or a different art style or a different artist or a different, interpretation. That's what I like when I see variants. Serious question though. Will there be an Eminem variant cover? Sadly, no. I think again, like the voluptuous women cover or Eminem covers, I think I probably would have done a lot better already. I would have instantly met my goal had I put Eminem on the cover. Probably should have done that. Perhaps numbered. Yeah, I think if that's in talking about like me putting a watermark or something, on the Kickstarter cover A's, something. I'm gonna figure out something so that way it's like, there is that distinction. So numbered could be a good idea. I'll have to like figure out what kind of graphics and what my options are, when I go to print and stuff. The EC homage is definitely my favorite big surprise. Yeah, of course. I mean, you got to do it. And it was cool because I felt like it was fitting. The story is, a throwback to golden age detective style comics, that sort of, world, that sort of setting. It takes place in the 1930s in Los Angeles. So it felt like not just hey, that would be cool because it's cool, but also it felt thematic to the story itself. No, I am not putting myself on the cover. I am definitely not putting myself on the cover. Well, that's not true. I technically am on the cover to some degree. My logo is on the cover. Yeah, Zach knows. I'd stop watching without the goatee. Let me see here. Just catching up with the chat, guys. Wait, Swaggle already sold his dignity when he agreed to come on my show. It's true. It's true. I mean, how could I possibly stoop so low as to appear on the Comic Journey channel? All right. Well, again, guys, it's been awesome to see this project go live. It's really, really great. You know, like I've been working on this for a long time, and I'm thrilled that, hey, we're halfway there, guys. We're halfway there. We're already halfway there. We launched at 9 a.m. this morning. It's currently 1 p.m. That's 4 hours. 4 hours. We're halfway there. So this is exciting. You guys see that? You guys see that little ticker that goes out? Man, what a dopamine hit that is. What a nice little dopamine hit. So super, super cool. You know, again, link is in the description, guys. If you want to check out the project, you know, I'm pretty proud of it. It definitely is something that has been a goal of mine. I know I don't talk too much about my work outside of YouTube, but you know, I do work in entertainment. You guys, some of you have pointed out my Emmy back there. So I have done a lot of writing, and here in this thing, I talk a little bit about some of my work. So I think the writing's not bad. I think the writing is not bad. You know, I write a lot for Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons and things of that nature. So it's not too far out of the wheelhouse. I've done a lot of directing, did a lot of music videos, made Sexy and I Know It and Party Rock Anthem and stuff like that. So, you know, it's pretty fun, pretty cool. Maybe you guys know that stuff. So yeah, check out the project. If you guys have any questions, of course, you can always Instagram me, DM me, ask it here in the chat, go through this video, take a look. I tried to make it as clear as possible, but yeah, it would definitely mean a lot to me, and you know, a way to support the channel and get a comic book out of it. So definitely pretty cool. But let me talk about right here this news, because we got to get into some comic book news. You know, we can't make it all about me and my Kickstarter right now. But to me, I thought that this was interesting. The big comic book news right now, Jon Bernthal returning as the Punisher for Daredevil Born Again. Now, this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter. And you know, with these things, guys, anytime it's Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, these are like official. This is confirmed. So I think this is definitely be something that has been rumored for quite a while. But it's actually really cool to see that it is going to be a thing. And it's exciting because, I mean, look, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Disney version of Punisher is going to be underwhelming? I mean, I know currently, you know, MCU is not hitting it out of the park. I think that is very, very fair to say. And there's a lot of concern that, you know, Jon Bernthal Punisher is basically going to be a PG version of Punisher. That would be what I suspect. I mean, I have to assume that it's going to be, you know, maybe like I would imagine that his version of the character he's going to play is going to be like how Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine, where he's rough, he's grizzled, but he'll throw a dry joke in every now and again, making fun of someone else out there. So if that's not the Punisher that you guys like, I think probably setting yourself up for disappointment. But it is cool to see him, you know. I think it'll be interesting, and it's interesting to see how, like, you got some FOMO. There's some Punisher FOMO out there. We got a few sales coming off the heels of this. Nothing huge though. Nothing huge. We got 5 sales. We did get an 8.0 sale here. I wonder if this is a record. $25.95 at an 8.0. Let's see if this like turned the market at all. I don't think that like we're in that space. Actually, what is this? $25.95. So that's a pretty okay sale. $25.95. That's the highest price it's been since January, which I guess is not that long of a time. But it does seem like we're definitely in a place where it's like, you know, we're starting to get that FOMO hit, but it's not going to cause like any sort of like massive spike in terms of like values and things like that. I think we're a long ways away from hitting like new peak comic book price records. But it does increase the liquidity of a lot of the books out there. That said, though, definitely when you get news like this, a lot of those minor keys and stuff pop up in the market. Like here on Key Collector, we can see that books like Daredevil 183, which is like the first, battle of Daredevil and Punisher, which I think is kind of a safe assumption that that's probably something we're going to see in the show. Although they kind of already have a relationship from the next Netflix series. So it's like hard to say if like, well, is that relationship going to carry over? Is Charlie Cox Daredevil, who is in the MCU, is that even the same character as the Netflix show? When they see each other in this show, are they going to be like, hey, Frank, good to see you again? Or is it going to be like, who are you? I'm Daredevil, sort of thing. So it's hard to say. But I think it's probably a safe assumption that we're going to get some kind of battle amongst the two of them before, obviously they team up, against their common enemy of the Kingpin, which again leads into this book right here, which is, the classic Daredevil gun cover 184, which would be their first team up. So it seems like they're probably going to take some story beats from these books where I would think that would be sort of a safe assumption that we would expect that. And then it leads into this book right here, which is Spectacular Spider-Man number 82, the first battle of Punisher and Kingpin. This one's, way more of a deep cut. Like, I don't know if this one's going to light up the lamps or blow up the charts or anything like that. But I will say that this Daredevil 183, I mean, if I go in here and I just search Daredevil 183, this is guaranteed to be a top book of the week, like 1,000%. You can see, again, you just go to eBay, sold listings, scroll down, and you just keep going. You keep going. Halfway down the page. That's quite a lot. In comparison to what you would normally see on any normal day for this book. So a lot of these types of like minor keys, the minor keys definitely fly out there in the market. And more so than that of the 129s. Let me see right here. Let me just catch up with some of the chat. Yeah, Doug. Yeah. Adam Hughes variant. Yeah. I got to get Adam Hughes. That would be the best way to get to your funding goals. If you can just get like a Campbell, it's probably worth it at that point. Like, I don't know what Campbell and Hughes's cover page rate is, but whatever they charge is probably worth it because you probably instantly make it back. Let's see right here. Will CGC be present to witness signatures of Sanity? If they don't witness, it's not real. I kid. Yeah, that's really interesting, YOLO, because this is something actually, and Doug, I bet, can speak to this a little bit as well, because of his book, his experience, where people were telling me like, yeah, you like people might want a signature on stuff, or I was talking to other people, for their Kickstarters, but a lot of people in our particular space, when we're talking about like comic collecting and values and graded comic books and things of that nature, like we all know what the drill is. Like if I sign it, and they're not there to witness it, then it's going to be not a real signature. But, I guess there still are those collectors who are like, it is more of just the collectible and stuff. But yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that, where later on when I have the book in hand and I do like witness signatures and navigate that whole market and stuff, because yeah, I'd love to be able to do that. It'd be cool to have, a CGC label with Swaggle on it. JP Power. How about an acetate variant? Yeah, about that. I mean, again, maybe I should have done it. I feel like, some of these, when you're now when I'm on this side of it, I'm like, man, these acetate ideas, these Hughes covers, these things like that, they're starting to make a lot of sense. The dice must flow. Hey, Swag, I just back. Good luck. Hey, dice must flow. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much for giving it a chance. Let me see right here. Yeah, the Punisher is a homicidal maniac. How you make a PG version of that? I mean, it's Disney, man. It's Disney. There are some birdies that have kind of whispered to me of what the tone of Born Again is going to be like. And I'll tell you, it's not going to be the Netflix show. Like if your thought is that, when we get Daredevil Born Again, it's just going to be like picking up the baton from the Netflix style of Daredevil and carrying it over to Disney Plus. Yeah, it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that. The darkest it's going to get is like Falcon and Winter Soldier level. You know, like if you consider that show to be like serious in tone or dark in tone, that's about as dark as it gets for Disney. So yeah, how are they going to pull off Punisher? Again, my suspicion is that Punisher is just going to be like kind of like more of a Wolverine, Hugh Jackman character, just a grizzled, smoke a cigar and tell you to piss off type of thing. You know, that's about as tough as he's going to get. That would be my suspicion. That'd be my suspicion. Oh man, nice hashtag. Make it scratch and sniff women cover. You know, we haven't quite hit that level of gimmick yet. You know, we got the acetates, we got foils, we got metals, we got all sort of gimmicks, but we haven't hit scratch and sniff yet. You know, I think when we hit scratch and sniff, that's going to be, you know, when we're at the bottom. That's going to be when you know we're at the bottom. Yeah, ASM 129 will always be a solid buy. Yeah, I totally agree. I think if you're picking up ASM 129 right now and you're going to hold it for 3 years, you're going to do great with it. You're going to do great. Again, in a lot of my boring videos where I talk about like interest rates and things of that nature, from what I've been able to sort of tell, you know, in the correlation of like comic values and interest rates, there definitely seems to be a correlation, I would say. So feels like right now the Fed is still raising interest rates, probably going to raise it a few more times, probably get to like 5.5, maybe 6. I don't know. Until inflation comes down, maybe through the rest of the year. And then in 2024 and 2025, start cutting it again, and you'll see the comic values likely go up. So if you're someone who is interested in 129 and your plan is to hold it for 3 years, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. It's possible that the books continue to go down in value if things get really tough. I mean, nobody really knows, but at the same time, from what we've been able to kind of look at in the data, it does seem like the floor values still hold for the keys. Like I focused a lot on Iron Man 1 and FF 48 and 49. And I went back to like the 2008 values, like, you know, we had the housing crisis and the crash and things like that. And things are a little bit on a delay with comic books, similar to real estate. And even when you go into 2010, generally speaking, the floor values carried over. You know, like they held. You definitely did not see record prices, but the floor values held up. Maybe they fell as far as 10%. So I can imagine that we're probably in a similar boat. Like maybe 129 falls another 10%. But I don't think it'll go to zero. Mighty Comics and Collectibles in the house. What's going on, Mighty Comics Collectibles? Congratulations. Thank you. Appreciate that. If you guys don't know, Mighty Comics Collectibles, he's got another YouTube channel as well, doing awesome stuff over there. So definitely go check out his YouTube if you haven't already. He's a good dude, very, very smart, puts out good stuff. I have all the Punisher keys, but I'm holding. Yeah, I think it's good to hold. I mean, you could, like, if your plan is to sell, like you could sell now, because obviously there's going to be a little bit of market attention from this announcement. And so that's going to move some stuff. So it might not be a bad idea to sell some of the minor keys if you have some extra or you want to move them or whatever. But at the same time too, you can just wait for Born Again. And I think, again, there's going to be that correlation where it's like Daredevil Born Again comes out in 2024. You might assume that the economy turns at that time and money's more freely being thrown around. So you might do better if you have the ability to just wait and hold. Congratulations on the great looking big swag. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Some do want CGC verification. Some are fine with raw signed books. Yeah. So I think it's just providing people that option. And I think most people know, right? Like they know that if they get a signed one from me, it's not going to be, CGC authenticated, but it's my signature. It's my signature. Let's see here. If you do an acetate variant, I want to skip the line to get a short box worth. Look, man, if you're going to buy 100 copies, talk to me after the show. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. Yeah, do a second Kickstarter to hire Adam Hughes. Yeah, maybe if I get to issue 2. Let's see, just checking in with the chat. They're going to She-Hulk the Punisher. I hope not, man. I hope I think the show will be serious, right? I mean, no MCU property is immune to MCU humor. Like, we're just gonna get that. We're gonna get the jokes to relieve tension and things of that nature. But I do think for the most part, Daredevil Born Again won't be like She-Hulk. Yeah, it'll be more serious in tone than that. Let's see here. Cosmic Toby 911. While you're at it, why don't you create a company that can rival Marvel, DC, Dynamite, and Image? Just develop a flagship character. Well, there is a flagship character in this comic book, so maybe that can be a case. I don't know. It's definitely an uphill battle to unseed those giants, but you got to start somewhere. Kickstarter is a good place to start. Let's see right here. Oh yeah. Ren and Stimpy already did a scratch and sniff. Yeah. And I would say like that was kind of like the end, right? Like once we got to Ren and Stimpy's scratch and sniff, that was like, okay, guys, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So it definitely is like, it's definitely one of those things. Hey, we got Pressable Defects in the house. Pressable Defects, what's going on, man? What's going on? Congrats on the comic, bud. Thank you. Really appreciate that. If you guys don't know, can I say it? I guess I can say it, right? I think I'm going to be on the Pressable Defect show next week, which I'm super, super excited about. It's been a while since I've been able to, collab with those guys over there. So stay tuned for that. If you guys don't know, of course you guys know, Pressable Defects, go follow their YouTube, go follow their channel. But I think I'm going to be able to hop on there live, which I'm really excited to do. All right, let's hop over because I thought it was interesting to talk about the Punisher stuff. Obviously, these keys are moving. Anytime you get these types of announcements, you're gonna have movement in the market. Granted, it's not like we're seeing 129 sell off the charts, although you do see sales, but they're not going to be hitting their record prices. But this other piece of news I thought was kind of interesting. I'm very, very interested in this particular book because to me, this answers a question of, can comics bounce back? And I think that this might be a little bit of a canary in the coal mine, right? Might not be the right reference, but it's going to tell us a lot about if Ultron does come back and he's involved once again. It'll be interesting to see what the values of Avengers 55 ends up doing. Now, later on this year, we're going to get the Marvels movie, and all those Carol Danvers Captain Marvel books are definitely good examples of books that when we had Captain Marvel, the first movie in 2018, all those books, Marvel Superheroes 13, Ms. Marvel 1, and then the Spider-Man book where she becomes Captain Marvel, they all had massive spikes. And since those times have not been able to hit anywhere near their previous prices. And this includes any lift that they got in 2021 during the comic book boom. So it is interesting to see that. And later on this year, when we get the Marvels again, will we be able to see any of those books' values increase? Will there be more demand later this year? Now, there's obviously the element of like people not liking Captain Marvel as a character, and rumors right now are that the Marvels movie is maybe not the best. I'm not necessarily convinced that it's going to be the best MCU property. So that one might be a little bit of a wash. But this one, to me, I think is super interesting. I think that this one is really interesting to think about because while Age of Ultron wasn't the best movie, I think for the most part, people think Ultron is pretty cool regardless. So this is an interesting book to me as far as its values are concerned, because if I just go into, this is Avenger 55, of course, first appearance of Ultron. Let me pick a book that has a decent amount of volume. Let's say the 7.5. And the graph you see right here is like, this is what the graph looks like across almost every single grade for Avengers 55. And what do you notice? It's like, as soon as we got the announcement that Age of Ultron was coming back in like 2014, and when we got the movie in 2015, that was the peak values for this book. And you can see that the book 1,000% crashed after we got it, kind of like still a higher floor level than what it was before the movie. But this basically went back down to its regular value. And then we got some lift in 2021 due to the nature of COVID and all that stuff. But we've never been able to reach those values that we had for this book back in 2015. And where I'm going with this is, if Ultron is coming, and this is actually going to be a thing, I'm curious to see if we can hit any of those values, if we can hit any of those prices. And that to me will be an indication of what a lot of other books can do. When you think about Special Marvel Edition 15, like first Shang-Chi, like will it ever be able to hit some of those 2021 prices, or like even like the Eternals, some of the Eternals books, or even whatever other villain characters that were, say, one and done. But I think that this is going to be one of the best examples that we've had in the MCU, where it's like you had a character that was heavily in the limelight. Their book shot up massively, had a huge pullback, and now we're going to see them return again. And will the book be able to reach its previous values? So apparently right now the rumor is that there's going to be maybe a Vision Quest show. There's also rumor, and Ultron might be a part of that. There's also rumors that Ultron might be a part of the Armor Wars storyline, which I think Armor Wars right now is being turned into a movie, if I'm not mistaken. I think that it was a TV show before, but now it's being turned into a movie. And the rumors right now are that Ultron's going to be part of it. And of course, that makes a lot of sense, So it makes a lot of sense that they can tie in all these plot threads of what was happening with Ultron and White Vision. Maybe they do a Vision Quest that starts it, leads into Armor Wars, and then you have him return as the villain or in some way, shape, or form. So I'm pretty excited about this. And I'm definitely excited to see, what the values for Avengers 55 can do. I think that this will be a book that probably coming off of these recent rumors will probably show up in hot list, because, there's definitely copies out there that aren't too expensive. You can find some copies for $40, $50, $60, decent stuff. So it's never been a particularly expensive book. I mean, even a 9.6 is still less than $1,000. There's only 85 on the census, and they're really not that expensive, considering it's a Silver Age book with a first appearance of a pretty significant villain. Like I'd say Ultron's pretty up there, but also one of the problems is Ultron's not on the cover. And I think that hurts this book. So maybe the values are exactly where they should be. I don't know what you guys think about Ultron as a character, and how you feel about him, if this book should be more valuable, or if it's actually a book that's kind of worthless. I mean, it's 1968, so it's late Silver Age. So sort of hard to say if it's undervalued, or maybe it's exactly the value that it should be. Let me answer. Trade Paper Dad, I got here late. Is your book a miniseries, trade paper, or a single floppy issue? This particular Kickstarter is for a single floppy issue. It is for issue number 1. I've already written the entire miniseries, up to 6 issues. So depending on how the campaign goes, and if I'm able to, sort of keep it going, I'll definitely finish those out. And, I think it'd be kind of cool to do maybe more of like the premiere formats in the next couple issues, where it's like, kind of like if you guys are familiar with like how like the Last Ronin books are, right? Like that effectively is 2 comics in one, those little thicker size issues. So I've been thinking about this a lot of like, maybe I'll do like issue 2 and 3, instead of them being single issues, I can just make it a larger format. I don't know if that's something that people want, but maybe that'd be kind of cool. It's like you have issue number 1, which for the most part, that's the one that people want to buy, right? We talk about like the indie series, everyone buys the issue number 1, and that can stay in a floppy form. And then if you actually like the story, then here, cool, buy issue 2. That is actually issue 2 through 5. So if that answers your question. Cosmic Toby 911. When's your next claim sale? Good question. I've been thinking about trying to do one soon. I have a decent amount of stuff that I could put up. I don't know. I haven't planned it yet, but probably soon. Maybe in like next month or two or something. I'll have to think about that. I'll let you guys know. I don't like comics. Good luck in your own comic. We in Canada support you. I appreciate that. I don't like comics. Definitely appreciate that. Let's see, Matt here. Would you personally sell your Avengers 55 and trade the curve, or would you rather have your complete run continue unbroken? It's a good question. I mean, at this point, I'm going to keep my copy because I have to actually hit my goal of having the entire collection. And I'm, 5 books away from actually reaching it. So I'm definitely not going to sell it. Even if the book goes to the moon, I probably still wouldn't sell it because I'm stubborn and I need to have them all in my collection. But if I'm somebody who had this book and it wasn't my long-term play and I felt like I could sell it now, I might do that. So, but after I get my Avengers run, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. If I'm going to just hold forever or if to me it was just like, hey, it was just sort of a game that I would get all of them. But I like Ultron. So even if I decided not to keep all the books, I probably would end up keeping the Ultron one at least. So that's pretty much that. Well, let's see how long I've been streaming here. 52 minutes. It's been a little bit of a short stream, but let's check in with the Kickstarter here. $5,127, 47 backers. Pretty exciting. We hit the halfway point. We're getting really close. Almost at the 10. Oh, we got the number spin. We got the spin up to $5,397. Holy moly. 51 backers. Super exciting. Thank you all so much. Like if anyone in the chat right now is somebody who backed this, like honestly, it's really humbling. And I'm really excited to get this to you guys. And I really hope you guys like it. I feel good about it. But obviously I'll let you guys be the judges. But again, I'm just thrilled that there are people who are willing to support it. We got 29 days to go, man. You got 29 days to go. Well, I'm glad that we're halfway there because, what they did say about Kickstarter, I watched like tons of YouTube videos about people talking about their experiences, read a bunch of articles and stuff. And people did say that like, you get most of your pledges like in that first few days or first week or so. And then the middle is like a big slog. And then you get a lot of people at the very, very end. That they just hit that point where it's like, I guess I'll do it, So I think it's kind of a relief to know that I got to this point, where it feels like, we might get there. I think we might get there. It feels like a attainable goal. So that is very, very exciting. Let's see over here. Como says, trade the whole Avengers 1 for the best Darkhawk one in the census. It is my goal to get the Darkhawk. I need to find a CGC 9.8 Darkhawk 1 signed by Stan Lee. I know they exist, but I think that there's probably like only a handful. And I don't know if Comic Journey is still here. He was making fun of me because he said like, but Stan Lee didn't even work on the book. Like, why would you want his signature on it? I don't know how you guys feel about that. I feel like Stan Lee's signature transcends like any book. Like anything Marvel can be justifiably signed by Stan Lee, in my opinion. And he's like the only person I would say this for. Like I wouldn't ever put Roy Thomas's signature on a Darkhawk 1. Like that makes no sense. But Stan Lee, even if he didn't officially work on it, what he represents is the brand that, led the way to create this. So I definitely want to find that copy. And I don't know, we're talking golden age census here, for that. So I might have to sell my Avengers 1 in order to get that Darkhawk 1 with Stan Lee, in order to pull it out of someone's hands. And I think that would probably be a good investment. I think that would probably be a good decision. No, I think I would literally lose all of my subscribers in protest because they'd be like, why would I follow a guy who talks about comic book collecting when he traded an Avengers 1 for a Darkhawk 1. I don't think anyone would take me serious after that. But it is something I want to find. I will say that I do know the person that has the original art page for Darkhawk #1. In fact, I'm almost certain that he has the entire first issue. If not the entire first issue, he has the large majority of original art pages for the first issue. And I've talked to him about it. But Darkhawk #1 original art page would probably be like, I don't know, easily $250,000, like 250 grand. And I say that unironically, like it totally would sell for around that price, or it would take around that value range in order to get it. Actually, that reminds me, I kind of wanted to, let me see if I can look this up. You guys know that there's the right now on Comic Link, there is the original art page for Vault of Horror 35. If you guys know, Vault of Horror 35 is the book. That's the Christmas Vault of Horror axe to the head, and the original art page is up for sale. So I do want to see what the value for that thing is. Let me see if I can look that up. I'm just logging into my account so that you guys don't copy my password and stuff. But earlier today, it was around the $110,000 range. And to me, that actually felt pretty low. Like I would have suspected at least 250, 300 for an original art page like that. Internet is letting me down. Internet is letting me down. Am I lagging to you guys? Do you know? Hold on. Come on. Uh-oh. Did I lose you guys? Test. Yeah. Am I back? How's that? Now I'm gone. How am I doing now? Are we back? I think I had to do a little bit of like a redo. But let me see. I think I'm back. Let me see. Anyone in the chat here? Still here, did get a little grainy. All right, cool. All right, we good. We good. We had to reset. All right, let me try this again to log into my account. Because I wanted to see what the value for this thing was right now. If it got any bids. I don't think that it's been able to. I don't think that it's done yet. Let me check back in here. Yeah, no Comic Link for me. I'm working on it. Okay, here we go. All right. We back. Oh, gotta add the screen again, do the whole thing. We're doing this live, guys. We're doing this live. All right, there we go. We back. Yeah, Vault of Horror 35 original art page. It's pretty cool to see like how even back all the way back, 50s, these original art pages look good. Like they pop, like if anything, actually, I mean, this is actually kind of a true thing that a lot of people feel this way. Like the art was better, before the Comics Code came in. Like I think they got to spend more time than what Marvel did. But yeah, right now, guys, minimum bid 113. This is a steal. This is an absolute steal. This is an absolute steal. I feel like you guys should, somebody should bid on this. Somebody should bid on this. If Darkhawk is 250K, I wonder what all those Kirby pages that Eric Larry owns are worth. I think he owns multiple entire issues by Kirby as original art. Yeah. Well, the original art pages are definitely, here's my theory as to, and maybe this is I'm just shooting from the hip as to why this Vault of Horror page might not sell as high as you would think, is because people spend big money on this stuff, right? For like the status of it, right? Like you want to get you know that if it's a Golden Age book, there's only so many. And so I want a copy that no one can get other than me, or it's very, very rare. It's the scarcity aspect. So, with the Golden Age books, because they're already scarce, a lot of the book values are already in there. So for instance, Chamber of Chills 19, which is like the girl who has like the martini glass in front of her face, like the original art page for that one didn't sell for that much higher than I think like the highest graded census version of that copy of that book, because it's already so rare, the book to begin with, that people would just rather have the colored version. And so I think that ironically, the Copper Age original art pages are very, very highly desired, and people spend a lot of money on them because people want to own, the first Deadpool, or people want to own the first Gambit or the first Venom or whatever, or the first Black Costume Secret Wars. But they can't but the original art page allows them to have that flex on it, whereas just having a Golden Age book is already a flex. It's not a flex to own Secret Wars 8 in the CGC 9.8. It is a flex to own the original art page by Mike Zeck for that. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know. That's just my theory as to why maybe these Golden Age art pages aren't quite as desired as maybe some of the Copper Age ones. I don't know. Could be true, could be not. That's just my guess. EC kept everything. Marvel and DC were so disciplined. Yeah, right. But right now, $113,000, 4 hours and 3 minutes left. Get your bids in, guys. Get your bids in. I do suspect that there will be, even at this price point, that there will be a couple more bids that come in. But I don't know. It seems cheap to me. Generally speaking, it seems cheap to me. But this Comic Link auction has had a few big sales, actually. I've been kind of surprised that, I don't know, Comic Link, it feels like sometimes gets much higher prices than that of heritage auctions. I mean, any given book, any given day. But it is a little bit surprising. It is a little bit surprising. I don't know if my stream is dying again, guys. Dying again. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of lag here, guys. Getting a little bit of lag. But, I've been going on an hour here. Maybe this is a sign that I need to wrap it up. Maybe this is a sign that I need to wrap it up and fix my internet. But I just thought it was important to do a little stream, a little celebration, a little bit of promo for my Kickstarter page that came out. Let's see where we're at right now. I don't know if I can refresh it because my internet is totally pooping, but we are at $5,484, 54 backers. We are over halfway there. We've been live since 9 a.m. So this is very, very exciting. And yeah, once again, appreciate all you guys who've been willing to, support. Hopefully it's not too annoying that, I'm sure I'm going to be talking about this a few more times. And by a few, I mean a lot more times throughout, the next month or so. So hopefully you guys don't mind. But again, very, very excited about this thing. Go check out the Kickstarter page. Go check out the link in the description. I think I break it down pretty well right here. There's some examples, get a feel for the story. I go into great detail in this video down here. So I talk a lot about, the project and the pages and the tiers and stuff like that. Here are the tiers you can see right here. Here's the backing on the side. So again, if you're interested in it, I think, I'm excited about it. I'm proud of the work. I'm happy. So if you guys want to check it out, definitely go do that. But I think with that, guys, I think I'm going to end the stream. I will probably do more live streams later on. Like I already mentioned, I'm going to be on the Pressable Defect stream next Monday, I believe, is when they do their streams. I'm hopefully going to be able to hop on a bunch of people's streams. Obviously, I got to do the influencer thing and get on the campaign trail and see if I can promote the book. So I'm going to try to get on anyone's YouTube, as many YouTubes as I can. But so more streams to come. But yeah, I think that's all I got right now. Thank you all so much. Go check out the Kickstarter, back the project, like, comment, subscribe. See you all in the next stream.